Hi and welcome to the Crafty Co. This tutorial is for an appliqué cloud. Now it can be used on its own or you can add it on to the rainbow, the crochet rainbow that is on our YouTube channel as another tutorial, so you can head on over there if you want to see how to make the rainbow, but for this one we're going to be making the cloud. This cloud is made using UK double knit and I will be working in UK terms throughout. If you double up your yarn, you can create a much thicker cloud, and this rainbow and clouds have been created using double strand of double knit and a 5mm hook. But we are going to use a 3mm hook and double knit yarn for this tutorial. First thing we're going to do is take our yarn and our hook. I'm using a 3mm hook and a double knit weight yarn, and we make a magic ring. There is a tutorial on our YouTube to work a magic ring, or if you prefer you can work a 4 or 5 chain and slip stitch back into the first stitch to create a ring so that you have something to put your double crochets into. So we insert our hook and do our chain 1, and then we work a double crochet. So we insert our hook, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through the two loops on the hook. Insert a stitch marker, as this will indicate where the first stitch of the round is, and then we just work 5 more double crochets into that magic ring. So remember, double crochet is insert, yarn over and pull through, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull off the 2 loops. So that's 3 and 4, 5, 6. We now have our 6 double crochets, and we want to pull the magic ring close. Don't pull it all the way, otherwise you're going to lose that first stitch. We can pull it tighter later, but for now we just pull it so that it's easier to work with. And then we just keep an eye where that first stitch is, and we insert the hook into that first stitch, and we work our first double crochet of this round. As it's the first stitch of the round, we reinsert the stitch marker so that we know where that first stitch is, and then we just work back into the same stitch with another double crochet where that first stitch was worked. So then we do, and that's our first increase of the round. Working another stitch into the same space, you're creating an extra stitch as an increase. So we're going to increase in the remaining 5 stitches of the previous round. So remember, we do 2 double crochet into the same space for our increase, and the next stitch we do 2 double crochet in the same, so that's our 3rd increase. 2 into the next for our 4th increase, 2 into the next for our 5th, and 2 in the next for our 6th increase. So we've now turned the first 6 stitches into 12. You can now pull the magic ring closed because we've gone past the stitch and it's not going to pull it in. So the next round we're going to work a sequence that will now turn this circle into an oval because we're trying to create a cloud shape. So the first stitch is a double crochet, and insert the marker into that first stitch, And it's a good idea, as I say, to use a stitch marker, and then if the doorbell goes or the telephone rings and you're taken away from your work mid-round, you can just unpick back to the stitch marker and start again. So then we've done 1 double crochet, so now we're going to increase into the next stitch, and remember, increase is simply working more than once in the same stitch. So we're going to increase 1, so we do 2 double crochet into the same stitch. The next double crochet is also an increased stitch, so we work 2 double crochet into that same stitch. So far we've done 1 double crochet and then 2 increased stitches, and then we're going to work 4 double crochet, and it's going to be 1 double crochet over the next 4. So 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in that third, and 1 double crochet in the 4th stitch. The next we're going to do 2 increases, so we're going to increase in the next stitch. So remember, we work 2 double crochet in 1 stitch, and then we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. So 2 double crochet into the same stitch, and then we have 1, 2, 3 stitches left. So we work 1 double crochet into each of the 3 stitches. As you can see, we're carrying on, continuing. We're not closing the round each time. We're just working in 1 continual stitch all the way around. So that's our 3rd round completed. So we just remove our stitch marker while we go into that 1st stitch. So in this 1st stitch, we're going to work just 1 double crochet, insert the stitch marker so we know where our 1st round is. And now we're going to do an increase in the next 4 stitches. So we work into the next one twice. So that's 1 increase in the next one. That's the 1st stitch. Then in the 2nd stitch, we're going to work an increase. So we work 2 double crochet in the same stitch. In the 3rd one, we work an increase. And in the 4th one, we work an increase. So we now worked our 4 increased stitches that we needed, and now we're going to work 1 double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So 1 double crochet in the 1st, 1 double crochet in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and 1 in the 4th. We now do 4 increases over the next 4 stitches we do an increase in each stitch. So our 1st increase we do 2 in the same, 2nd we do 2 double crochet in the same, 3 and 4, and we now have 3 double crochet left, and we do 1 double crochet in each stitch. And now we're back to the stitch marker. So as you can see, our circle is turned into an oval. So we're going to do 1 more round of increases, and then we're going to be doing the fluffy bits on the cloud. So remove the stitch marker, and we're going to work into that 1st stitch. And this time we're going to do 5 double crochet. So we're going to do 1 double crochet into the next 5 stitches. So that's our 1st one. And sometimes with double crochet stitches, they are quite small. So if you need to pull them, to tease them apart, just to see where the next stitch is, that's absolutely fine. So we've done 1, that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And sometimes different colours are much harder to see the stitches. White and black are particularly hard to see the stitches with. So we've done our 5 double crochet. So now we're going to increase into the next 3 stitches. So we work 2 stitches, 2 double crochet into that first stitch, 2 double crochet into the second stitch, and 2 double crochet into the third stitch. I'm going to work 9 double crochet, so 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're now going to do 3 increases, so we're going to work 2 double crochets into each of the next 3 stitches. So that's our first increase. We're going to work 2 double crochet into the first stitch, 2 double crochet into the second, and 2 double crochet into the third. And we now have 4 double crochet left, so we just work 1 double crochet in each of those 4 stitches. So now we've completed our inner to our cloud, so we're going to put the fluffy bits on it now. You don't need a stitch marker for this because we are creating the fluffy bits. It's going to be very obvious when you've done your 5 when you get back to the beginning. We're now going to work the fluff round. So we're going to create the fluffy puffs on the cloud, and there's 5 in total, and as we have 30 stitches in this previous round, we're going to work each petal over 6 stitches. So the sequence is set the same for all 6 of the fluffs. So the sequence is as follows. In the first stitch, you do a slip stitch, and that's just going to secure and hold down the side of the little puff. In the next one, we're going to work 2 stitches. One is a half treble and the next is the treble. We're going to slowly increase the height until we get to the center, and then we're going to start reducing the height to create a nice little puff. So we're going to do a half treble, yarn round, insert hook into the next stitch, yarn round, pull through, and we have 3 loops on the hook. And for a half treble, you just yarn over and pull all 3 stitches off at the same time, and that is a half treble. So we're going to do a treble into the same stitch. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through. So we have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull over the first 2, yarn over, pull over the remaining 2. So we've worked a slip stitch in the first stitch, a half treble and a treble in the second. In the third stitch of the sequence, we're going to work 1 treble, so yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull over the first 2, yarn over the remaining 2. And in that same stitch, we're going to work a double treble. And to work a double treble, we wrap the yarn around the hook twice this time before inserting it back into the space where the treble was worked, yarn over, pull through. This time we have 4 loops on the hook. So we yarn over, pull off the first 2, yarn over, pull off the second 2, and yarn over and pull off the remaining 2. And that's a double treble. So we've gone up the first half of our fluffy puff, and now we're going to come down the second half. And to do that, we're going to work these stitches, but in reverse. So this time, into this stitch, we do our double treble first. So into the next stitch, you do a double treble, yarn over twice, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, take off 2 loops, yarn over, take off 2, and yarn over, take off the remaining 2. Into that same stitch, we're now going to do a treble, yarn over, insert into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, sorry, excuse me, I'll do that again. pull through the 2 and then yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. In our 5th stitch we're going to do the opposite of the 2nd stitch, which is 1 treble, 1 half treble in the same stitch. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, 2, yarn over, the 2. We're now going to do a half treble back into that stitch, yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, and we have 3 loops on the hook, and we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And then the last stitch of the sequence is a slip stitch just to anchor a little puff. And this is the sequence that we're going to repeat another 4 more times. We have 24 stitches left, so each of the puffs is worked over the 6 stitches, and we're going to complete the 4, and then we're going to meet back round at the beginning. I'll do one more for you. So we're going to do a slip stitch to anchor the first side of the puff, and then we're going to do a half treble and a treble in the 2nd stitch. In the 3rd stitch we're going to do a treble and a double treble. So we've completed the first half of the puff, and now we're going to do the opposite on the way back down. So we're going to do the double treble and treble into the 4th stitch, a treble and a half treble into the 5th stitch, and then we're going to anchor it in the 6th stitch with a slip stitch. So we've now created 2 of the little fluffy puffs around the outside. So we just need to do a further 3. So we'll do those now and I'll meet you back at the end. And then we have 1 more stitch remaining where we do our slip stitch to complete our cloud. And we cut off the yarn and pull through. And that is our little cloud finished, and it's ready to be added to either your rainbow, or you can add it to a cushion or a bag. And if you do 2 and put them together, then you can create a little cushioned cloud, which would be fantastic for mobiles. So that's the tutorial on how to make a cloud. And if you want to make the rainbow, just head on over to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you soon. Bye.